Watch this.
Hello.
We are back with another episode of It's So Hard to Be Light Skinned. What are we talking
Welcome
about
to
today?
episode 3.
Trey.
Trey, we are talking about It's So Hard to Be Chill.
Yes. And we thought it would be a perfect episode to do while we are here in the lovely Martha's Vineyard,
Bah, bah, bah,
one
bah.
of the most chill places on the East Coast.
Yeah,
Yep, I have on what sweat shorts, little loungy shirt. We're just chilling.
I dressed up a little for y'all.
I don't.
No, but for those who don't know, Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts, it's my happy place. I have been coming here since I was a small child, usually in August. But we came up this year for 4th of July and for a family member's birthday.
Mhm.
So we are here. It's actually today. Hey,
Today's the day.
but I'm not gonna shout her out because she don't want to be talked about.
She upstairs
Um,
getting cute for her birthday and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, we are in Martha's Vineyard, which if you've never been there, I feel like there are just like a lot of actually, great question.
Because this is my first
What did
time.
yeah, like what were your, because what I was gonna say was I feel like a lot of people have like preconceived notions
hmm
about Martha's Vineyard and like how it is, especially like if you look at like the way that Trump responded to here or like
mm
the Obamas come here, like a lot of people have these notions of what
hmm
it is. So what did you think about it before you came?
So before I came, because like I've never been, but like I've had other family members who've been.
Hmm.
My godmother and godsister used to come every summer,
Me.
and I don't know why I wasn't invited, but that's a story for another episode. But yeah, I thought it
You
was
weren't
like,
there.
yeah. And so I always thought it was like affluent black people, like, when you see like vineyard vines, those type of
Mm,
outfits, your button down polo shirts and your khaki shorts, which is all I packed to come here, little boat shoes.
yes. Lovely
Um,
Pulitzer, you know.
yeah, and it kind of like lived up to the expectation, but it's like it's not stuffy, not bougie. Like randomly, I had friends that were here this week, some that I didn't know were coming, and from the moment you step off the plane, like if you ever been to the Burbank airport, I always thought like that was the smallest airport that there could be, but no, Martha's Vineyard's even smaller. Like I've never seen a baggage claim that doesn't
There's no
revolve.
carry.
They
They
just
literally just like
open up the
open the
window.
window, slide your bag in. You can see them doing it.
Yes.
Like that's when you know it's a small airport. Cause like in the big airports, it like comes up from the bottom of who knows
Yes.
where. Like you never see the employees. It's like going around. Like no, this you're like staring at the baggage handler as he hands you your bag.
And Morgan came to pick me up. You parked your car at the front of the
You're
airport
not supposed
with
to do
with
that.
your person. Oh yeah, we don't recommend that, but
But yeah, I pulled
no
the car
ticket.
over, put it in park. I left my purse inside.
Yeah.
I came inside. I was like, hey, because he's never been here. So I was like, I want to come like personally greet you.
hmm
Not that you can really get lost because it is that big.
But I did get lost though, because I walked right past the baggage claim on the way to the bathroom. I was following other people, and I didn't realize that the people were walking to the bathroom and not the
Not the
baggage claim.
baggage claim. Yes, well, you were, I'm sure you were looking for a conveyor
I was looking
belt.
for something
Yeah.
outside of just a window with a tray, but that's
It's
what it
literally
is.
like a metal, I can't even call it a slide because it's like this long.
Yeah,
But okay, so it was like I'll say I feel like
chill.
it's chill
It's chill.
and
It's
it's a
chill.
lot than people expect. Like
Yes, it
it's
definitely is.
very small town vibes of like everyone says hello to everyone,
hmm
like just like 98% just very pleasant people.
Yeah, and like all the buildings look alike. They all have the same siding. I forgot, was it shiplap?
No, that's the inside because I watch too much Chip and Joanna. No, it's I don't know, I don't remember what it's called, but
It's
it's
that
like this
gray.
gray, sometimes light brown, like wood siding that they do that is very like Cape Cod, very Martha's
Yeah.
Vineyard.
If you know the
It's a
name of
style.
it, DM us or
Yeah.
put it in the comments.
I'm not gonna waste your time speaking to it right now, but it
But
is
everything, the airport looks like that, the
the police
hospital, the
station
police
looks like
station, the
that.
grocery store, like
Yeah.
everywhere.
It actually reminds me, before I came here this trip, I had to go to Boston for work. And so I got to visit a friend there and we went to this rooftop party,
hmm
which was very chill, very vibes. But it was so fascinating because, Boston's, I think people sleep on like Boston's an older, like in terms of the US. an older city. And so it's so interesting looking at like so much brick.
Hmm.
Like so much of this city is the like old red brick kind of
Yeah.
classic style. So yeah, it is interesting seeing like what is kind of
Hmm.
the style and the norm of each area.
And like the grocery store, that was another thing too. Like I know groceries are expensive nowadays, but damn, Martha's Vineyard.
Oh yeah, that island import tax.
Yikes. Like, you can get like the ears of corn, like three for a dollar, sometimes six for $2, six for a dollar, 99 cents per corn ear.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
That it makes you
Uh,
understand why my parents used to pack the cooler on dry ice
Now it
and
makes
drive
sense.
stuff up with us
Now it
because
makes
it's
sense.
expensive.
But all in all, like this is great. Like I love it up here. Another thing I was shocked about that there's no street lights.
Yes.
There's no street
Which
lights.
is like one thing I love about that is that because there's no like light pollution at night, this is one of those areas where you can see every star
Mm.
at night and see everything because you're not, there's not all the light pollution. But I think it's also a big part of why like there's stuff to do at night, but it tends to be more like at people's
Mhm.
houses or like hangouts because once it's dark here, it's dark dark. You don't really want to be driving home at like 10, 11 o'clock at night because it's pitch black.
Especially have some drinks at those houses too. So yeah.
So yeah, people tend to be,
Hmm.
this is more like daytime vibes, chill.
Yeah.
People tend to be like in bed, sleep early. This is a very chill sort of refresh. And in
Hmm.
fact, my business partner for Ink and Oak Wine,
Hmm.
she Tiffany talks about how whenever she comes, because she typically drives up, she's like, once I get on that ferry, it's like my yoke comes off. It's
Mm.
like you just this weight is lifted and whatever was holding you down or just making you feel like, ugh, you get here and you're like, and actually I told you this when we first got
About the
here.
shoulders up. Yeah.
hmm
Hmm.
Like when you're walking around, because it's island vibes and just so chill, you don't hear people like honking
Mm.
their horns or like, getting real upset. And like you can kind of tell when someone's like just off the boat and still on mainland, like, ugh, they are stressed out. And then like slowly throughout the week, by the time they're ready to
Hmm.
leave, they are just like,
I'm feeling that right now.
yeah,
I think I was shoulders up when I got here,
you were
coming
definitely
from
shocked.
coming from DC. But I like the vineyard. I like the island. I can get
It's
used to island life. Yeah.
it's
It's chill,
yeah.
And so that's what we want to talk about today. It's so hard being chill. And why is it so hard being chill? Can y'all be chill or are y'all chaotic? I'm gonna give y'all a moment to think about that. Moment's over.
Oh, I got up, I did a little yoga, and
And
then
I
I
just
took an
woke up.
extra long vipassana. Yes, you did. To
Super chill,
breakfast.
super chill over here.
You're
Yep.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. But let's get into it.
Yes. Anxiety disguised as being detail oriented. Are you ever guilty of that?
Oh yeah, yes. But I take pills for that. So, so I'll call it a medical condition versus
I mean,
something.
anxiety is,
It's a medical condition.
I
It's okay,
literally
you did,
agreeing
yeah.
with you.
We went through this last episode.
Okay, you're not being attacked. You're just sensitive.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna try and be chill in this episode
Oh
too.
yes, yes. Let's lead by example,
Oh,
right? Do a reset.
rewind. Do a little breathing exercise. We're gonna breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Again.
No, I
In.
think we're good.
2, 3,
For
4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2. You weren't doing it, so
I
we're gonna do it
wasn't.
again.
No.
Yeah, we are. Because we're working on chill. You can do it. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. I don't know why he's fighting the chill.
Mm.
Did you do it? I don't know if I believe him. I don't think they do
Probably
it.
not.
Probably not.
Probably
But
confused, but
sometimes you gotta throw 'em, something a little
a
different.
little different, right?
But like, we all should be breathing.
I hope.
I mean, you just said no to the second one.
Because that holding in for four was hard.
Yeah, but like that's what helps with the reset. We spend all day sort of just
Hmm.
it's like sometimes you need to just hold for a minute.
Sometimes like when you try to go to bed and your mind just like won't stop thinking
That happened to you a lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
And I get mad at myself. And so I'll turn from
Why?
one side to the other side. And when I do that, my brain stops thinking about whatever I was thinking about, but I start thinking about something else. So
But
then
why
after,
do you get mad at yourself?
because I just wanted to be quiet and just go to sleep. But I'm thinking about Candy Crush and what the colors on Candy Crush look like. I'm thinking about what I saw on TV or something, a song in my head, lyrics, anything.
I mean, I feel like I'm definitely guilty of that too,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I just don't know how to turn it all off.
Mm-hmm.
But for the sake of chill, how do we let go of the mad around it? Because like that's just a part of how you're wired. So why get mad about
Because
it?
I just want to go to sleep, you know?
Yeah, but like I feel like the to if it was me,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would get stuck in the cycle of like, okay, now I'm mad at myself and now I'm thinking about that and now I'm
Mhm.
turned up even more versus like and it reminds me of at first when I started trying to meditate, I would like I would get mad
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't turn my brain off. And
Mm-hmm.
then someone basically taught me like that's not the goal. It's that the goal is to be able to like sit in the middle of all of it. So I think it might have been the Calm app that like gave this little like video, I want to say. But not a disclaimer. They're
We
not
are not app
sponsored.
right.
But basically they had this video where they were imagining like your thoughts as cars on a highway.
Mm-hmm.
And like when we're sort of aware, we will chase the different cars, we will follow
Mm-hmm.
the thoughts, we will maybe hop in a car for a while and follow where that goes. But when you're meditating, you're not trying to stop all the cars on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to sit next to the highway and not chase every thought that goes by.
So just watch the cars.
No, it's not even watch them. Like it's almost like because even like meditating in noise, I actually find very helpful because I think it's like you still have to be able to just tune into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like the noise in the cars aren't there. They're there, but they shouldn't
Just
be there for
focus.
you.
Okay.
Like because normally you'd be like, oh, what's in this car? What's that one? What's it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, the cars are still there because you can't stop the traffic. You
True.
can't turn well, you can, but then you did.
Right.
So
I'm
like,
gonna breathe and think.
but you gotta just let all the cars flow by.
Mm. See, trazodone is good for that too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
And
what that one
Benadryl.
is.
Trazodone, that'll
But
knock you
also,
out.
we probably shouldn't be giving medical
Oh,
advice.
yeah. Disclaimer.
I'm glad it's good for you.
For
I'm
me.
glad you
For
found what
me.
works for you, because
For me.
that's important. We've all got like,
Little things, you know.
yeah, and none of us are wired the same, I
Some people
think
take
is.
edibles for anxiety,
That is true.
vape,
That is
weed,
okay, but back to we're not giving
but we're
this
not
right.
giving medical advice.
Right. How do you feel social media plays into
Oh, it's the
and
FOMO. It's
overthinking?
the FOMO. Like figuring out what's going on, where your friends are, what's happening, why you aren't there, the whole anxiety, wanting to be in everything. And also social media, like people put their nice stuff on social media. You're
That
not
is
seeing
very
them when
true.
they're alone or when they're anxious. So, I think hopefully our generation has like gotten past some of that, I think,
I don't know. Some of y'all still a little pressed out here.
but I think more about like the younger generation, like the
I feel like a lot of them are like all or nothing.
hmm,
They're either like completely on the channels and like
mm-hmm,
deep in the TikTok and like, or they're like, I hate social media and I will
mm-hmm,
never use this. I don't know that I haven't met a lot of them that I feel like, and obviously it's never an all, but like a lot of the ones I feel like I've run into are on one side or the other of the spectrum, not really in a balanced middle.
And also, like, what's the whole thing about like a lot of the younger generation? They only have like one or two posts on their entire Instagram account, and no more than that.
True, they care, and some of them I feel like care less about like curating a feed as much as they're like looking at what other people do. But I don't
Hmm.
know if that's better or worse. Because if you're still spending the same amount of time, but just all over what
Um,
everybody else is doing,
hmm.
then you're gonna really have the fun. Like what was last week? Calm.
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
and like I just turned my IG off because like I love that all my homies were there and having their best time.
We tried.
But I had planned to go this year
We
and that did
tried.
just not work out as planned. And so, I'm like, on the one hand, I'm like rooting for everyone, but no, I'm rooting for all the homies and like, excited that they're there and the dope projects they're working on. But there is also another part of me, that is like, I want to be there with you. Like,
Hmm.
I want to be like cheering you on in person. Like, so. But next year.
Yes, we're speaking it into existence.
Exactly. So, and I'm still the chill in me is still ultimately excited for them and like the dope stuff that they're doing. And like, I'm not like hate watching. I'm still like liking the post and being like,
Mm.
this is so cool. Like, well done.
Yeah.
You hate watching.
Yeah.
Okay. I felt that like that's you, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just like this
Well,
whole Beyonce concert. Like, I just don't want to see another Cowboy Carter post.
because you haven't been yet.
Exactly. I'll
Okay.
be there in 2 weeks, but like, wait until I want to wait till I see it.
I mean, it's sort
Excuse
of
me.
like though, it's sort of like when like Sinners, for example, when Sinners came out, I feel like everybody was like, you got like maybe a week
Yep.
or two
Hmm.
before we just put every thought we've ever had about it online.
Yep.
And like if you choose to wait longer than that,
That's on you.
then like spoilers abound. So, and that is hard because which is why I feel like Beyonce is such an artist of like her time.
Hmm.
Like obviously, I mean, it's Beyonce, but what I mean by that specifically is that like she's an artist aware that she's being an artist in the age of Instagram.
Hmm. Of course.
So like the fact that she, changes up the outfits, changes up what comes out, changes up who
Hmm.
comes and really her and her team do such an incredible job of making every stop, every performance, every night, unique in its own way, I
Hmm.
feel like. So even having seen so much of what we've seen in terms of like the posts and what people are talking about, I still don't feel like I would go and be like, oh, I saw this online. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I still know that when I go, because I'm claiming it, that it's going to be an incredible night and I'm going to be like, I'm so glad I came in person. You
Do
know
you
what I
think the
mean?
car will still be part of the show
I
by the time we see
I think that car got fired.
it?
Cause they posted pictures about DC because she's performing there like the 4th and the 7th. And people were like, I hope y'all left that car behind. Like one thing we don't do is play about Beyonce and like that car tried to take her out.
It could have been the
So
end of Beyonce.
and I mean, obviously we don't want anything to happen to Beyonce. Like national treasure, preserve her. But also I just couldn't imagine something happening in such like a traumatic
Hmm.
like so, with all your fans there and we all like wouldn't know. That would be
And it will be on social media.
because people have no clues,
Yep. Yep.
probably.
Yep.
But we're not listen,
We
we're
are
not speaking
chill.
that we are chilling, we're not
We are
speaking that
chill.
into existence. I am speaking that back up
One,
because
two, three, four. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four.
because nothing is happening to the queen. And I just want to say, I do really, 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 really love how like far Blue has come as a dancer.
Hmm.
Like I always thought that it was clear that she had put in work. But you can also just like see what 10,000 hours does. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
the more that she does it, the more that it just becomes ingrained in her and muscle memory and like just her presence. And I mean that girl's gonna be phenomenal. And watching her and being able to sort of witness her and her mom be able to do this well, their whole family in various ways be able to like do this together. It's just like it's real chill. It's real cool to watch.
Hmm.
But yeah, y'all don't have to post every second of every concert. Y'all could maybe be a little chill on how much content you
Yeah.
you spill
Hmm.
these concerts. At least wait till the tour
Right.
over.
At this point, it's like bootlegging. It's the new version of
It
bootlegging.
it really
Yeah.
is. And everybody's trying to get their views.
Because you know it's going to be some movie or something about it afterwards, too. So, you know?
Right. Does Beyonce have I don't I don't know. Maybe I don't know if they ever said the details, but I don't know if she
About the
has like
Netflix.
a Netflix deal or a Netflix
Mm-mm.
partnership or like I don't think they ever released like
Mm-mm.
the specifics around it.
Mm-mm.
Because I feel like I remember them being like the Obamas have this
Yeah.
like Netflix deal and it was like talked about. But Netflix be keeping stuff like real close
Yes.
to the chest. Like I would be so interested to see um, and it feels so appropriate that we're talking about Netflix because Netflix and chill.
Netflix. I
But
did not.
I would be so interested to see Netflix numbers
Hmm.
because Netflix really doesn't. I've never seen any sort of numbers around like how's their shows,
Uh-huh.
like their views and their popularities, and I'm always curious um about what shows they decide to keep or what shows they get rid of.
And it's also interesting too, because we're talking about how Netflix is like so close to the chest and but internally they're not chill. So like you can see your coworkers' reviews.
Oh,
Like they're very like in your face, like you know who's not performing, you know who is performing.
interesting.
Yeah. So internally, Netflix is not chill, but externally,
Hmm.
very chill.
What
Yes,
do you
it's
think
tough.
that transparency like that does? Is that a blessing or a curse?
I don't know. I mean, if you're not doing well, everybody
Yeah, but it's
knows.
like, it does that like motivate you to make sure that you like keep on top so people don't see like, ooh, Jonathan's slipping this
Hmm.
week? Or is it just like embarrassing and debilitating? We know it's
I
not
think it's a
chill.
little bit of not chill at all. I think it can be a little bit of both. I think both can be true at the same time. But yeah, my reviews were always good, so I wouldn't mind.
This is very us. So, in moments when chill is a
Uh,
choice
yes.
and you choose chaos, I mean, do you have any examples of that you would like to share with the
I
class?
do actually.
Tell us about
When I
it.
was in high school, I was a part of this after school program called Common Ground. I will say their name out loud. So it was for
Is that good
like
or bad for them?
up to them. Um,
What happened?
so one of the things, it was like we would go there like, once a week or twice a week, and it was kids from like all neighboring schools and high schools or whatever. It was supposed to be like a gifted program. So the people that were in charge of the program, it was a day that we were supposed to like write a speech and do public speaking, like Toastmaster type thing, whatever.
Okay.
So my speech was going to be about North Carolina A&T State University because I knew that's where I was going for college. But that day,
Had
the
you already gotten in, or did you just know?
I just knew.
Okay.
I just knew. Junior, I just knew.
I love that for you.
I just
Continue.
knew. And so yeah, the two women that were in charge of the program, they had like I forgot what they did, but they really pissed me off before it was my time to speak. So I took
Hmm.
my paper, flipped it over, I made a whole new speech, and it was about how the people in charge of this program were supposed to be role models, but they're not. I don't look up to anybody in this program. I had one of my teachers from school, she was there to like watch me speak. When I tell you everybody's face in that
Was it?
room, uh-huh, she was the first one to start clapping. They clapped. I had to stay back afterward with my mom and them or whatever, but either way, my aunt still has that speech. But I was proud of my speech because I evoked emotion and I was they did it. They did it.
Oh,
Yeah. I definitely chose chaos at that moment.
I that inspires a memory.
Then another time, I just thought about
Okay,
this one.
two, continue.
Another time I was in middle school. So she was a good friend of mine. I'm not going to call her name out. She knows who she is. She played the what's that thing called? French horn.
Okay.
And so
From
French horn.
this.
And I played trumpet, so we were like opposite sides of the band room. And so I was there talking to her, whatever. So this is keep in mind I was a child. It was years ago. It was a different time back then. So
Disclaimer.
I was sitting next to her, so I saw that she had a pad in her book bag. So I took it out of her book bag, and then when I got to my side of the band room, I stood up and waved the pad and said, "Everybody, look what her name has. Look what she has." And then I threw it across the band room at her. And that was another time my mother had to come in because they
Who
went
do you
in.
do that?
I don't know. I don't
You just
know.
said chaos feels good, huh?
I don't know. But yeah, my mother had to come in, and then when Miss Corbett was the band teacher's name. When she told the story to my mother started laughing. So I don't think that went over well either. But yeah, chaos.
And y'all are still friends?
I'm gonna see her at the our 25th reunion in October. I haven't spoken to her since 25 years.
So y'all are not still friends.
I mean, I don't know what would you call that? Because we're not friends, but we don't speak. We know each other,
Acquaintances.
acquaintances, former
Okay.
classmates.
Former
We'll
classmates.
go with that. Yeah.
Oh, my not chill moment. Um, I'm neurodivergent. I got
That's
ADHD.
why her leg is shaking right now.
Yes, that's why I'm always look like I'm vibrating. Um, I had a therapist growing up who thought that boarding school would be a great fit for me and had been, recommending it. And my parents finally said, we're gonna make that move. And I'm sure you're all asking why, and I'm not telling. And so they told me, you're gonna apply for this boarding school, you gotta write this essay. And the question was, what is the biggest problem in the world today? And I wrote this very well written, beautifully executed
Mhm.
essay on parents and how parents were the biggest problem in the world today because they have these kids and then when they get tired of them, they want to send them off for somebody else to raise.
Mm. How'd that go over?
My parents were like, I hope you feel better. Try again. So my second edition was about racism and how racism was the biggest problem in the world today. But I wrote it like I was a new inductee of the Black Panthers. It was
Mm.
very over the top, woke before woke was a word, like just very vigilant. And so they sent this in with my thing because they couldn't, technically, it was well written.
Hmm.
And so we go in for these like interviews and conversations, and they talk with us together, and then they talk with us separately. And during my talk, when I got alone, I wept. I was like, please don't let me in. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna hate it here. This is gonna be so terrible. And I knew I was done because she said, oh, if you really don't like it, you can come to my office anytime. I was like, no, you've already decided. And I found out later from my parent that in their conversation they asked, you know, is Morgan a little is she kind of is she, a little racially sensitive? And my parents were like, no, she's just mad. So that was definitely chill was a choice. And I was like, nope, chaos.
What I found interesting about both of our stories, we chose the pen and
Hmm.
words to be chaotic. So
Yes.
there's power in the voice, there's power in the pen.
Yes.
Interesting.
I do. I mean, you talk about journaling and
Yep.
have these journals you've made. I've definitely always been a writer and love writing, but also like, I love books. I grew
Mm.
up in book club and
Now that's
like,
where we are different. Um, I like
right.
audiobooks,
That's still a book.
but I like to listen. I don't like
That's
to
still a
read.
book. That is reading. It's just reading with your ears instead of your eyes. You
So
know
I'm
what I mean?
reading with my ears.
Yeah, you are still hearing
Interesting.
stories. You know what I mean? You're just not hearing them with your eyeballs. I don't know. I feel like there were times when I was like really deep in a book or really deep in something interesting where like I'm reading, but I'm also like imagining.
Hmm.
And I wonder if you almost have more room to imagine when you can just sit back and
Listen,
listen.
yeah,
I think people forget like our country on average is a sixth grade reading level. And
mm,
so
that's
like
terrible.
it is, and you don't like, how do I put this? Part of my privilege at times is that I have the privilege of being surrounded by very smart, very well-educated people. So sometimes I forget that like that is not necessarily the
You know,
countrywide
hmm.
norm, you know? How are we one of the richest countries in the world? And instead of being chill about it and having universal education and universal health care and like everybody has jobs that are livable wages and all these things, we're like, you know what? Chaos. We're
Chaos,
gonna start deporting. Like
chaos
this man talked
every
about
day.
that he's gonna start deporting. He threatened to deport the guy that won the Democratic candidacy for New York.
Oh, the 33-year-old.
Hmm.
Hmm.
He's talking about he's going to deport him. I'm like, so remember when we were warning y'all that he was going to come for U.S. citizens?
Hmm.
He's saying it.
Yeah.
He's saying the quiet part out loud. He's choosing the chaos over the chill. So that amazes me on a regular basis about America. I'm like, we could literally be like living the easiest
Right. And we
of
always
lives.
take vacations to chill, like to the islands, out of America, anywhere out of America is to chill.
Right.
But we live in chaos every day.
Yeah. It just
So,
it's so deeply disappointing because it's just like,
mm,
don't you like I don't know. Part of my neurospicy is like pattern recognition. So like there are times where I see certain things and I'm like, so you don't see how the lack of education leads to the lack of opportunities, leads to a lack of resources, leads to
mm,
criminal behavior for lack of choice and autonomy, leads to like you just think like, oh, that guy down the street is just gonna have a hard time. Well, whose door do you think he's gonna be knocking on
mm,
when he gets tired of the hard time? Like you
mm-mm.
can't sit here and hoard everything and expect that somebody's not eventually gonna come say, I'm tired of being hungry.
True. And speaking of horror, that made me think of horror. Speaking of chaos and chill,
Not that
good,
was not a chill transition at all.
good transition.
At all. I didn't say it was a bad transition. I just said it wasn't a chill transition.
So the day that we are recording this, we just learned about the Diddy trial
Oh, not chill
outcome.
at all.
Not chill at all. What are your thoughts?
Did he? Or didn't he?
So
Um,
witty.
thank you. I'm a comedian sometimes. I'll put it this way. The conspiracy theorist in me felt like the fix was in when their whole defense was like something like
No,
22 minutes.
chill, very
It
chill.
was too chill.
Very, very chill with
It
this.
was too chill. It was definitely giving like if we don't get off, Trump got me.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I don't know. It very much felt like the fix was in. I don't know. There's a part of me is like, does the IRS audit this man because you was out here paying for drugs and
Sex.
sex with company funds and that wasn't Rico? Like so yeah, I just think one, I think too many people don't understand like the laws and the
Mm-hmm.
system and like all that stuff. Like honestly, I'll just say this. I hope that whoever needs to be watching is watching all of the various people who testified because
I hope they're okay.
they, he may decide he's untouchable and give them another swing at the apple.
Mm.
I'm not gonna get explicit with it, but I'm gonna leave him alone.
Next topic.
Next topic. Wait, what were we talking about? It's so hard mind our business. I'm gonna mind my business on this one. Oh, speaking of light skin behavior, was there ever a time you tried to be chill about something but ended up sending a 3 paragraph text and a follow-up meme because that feels very specific.
I think, well, I think we just talked about that, like how we will put pen to paper,
Mhm.
uh-huh, and choose the chaos over the chill.
Yes.
So yeah, I've also, I don't think this was chaotic, but when I was when I was younger, I mean like young, they used to sell those like those like 99 cent cookies, like they had the double size, like
Like
the black side, white side. They were like
uh,
the cheap ones. And
yeah.
then they had the strawberry
Sandwich
ones,
cookies.
sandwich cookies.
Yes.
And they had the strawberry ones. I used to love the strawberry ones. And then I couldn't find them in the grocery store anymore. And I'm talking about like I was less than 10 years old.
Mhm.
So I found we had like a bag in the cabinet or whatever. So I found the address. So I wrote the company a letter
Mhm.
about how I wanted these strawberry chips and I want them now and all this other stuff. So they mailed me,
Cookies, you mean?
yeah, cookies. It was
Okay.
actually.
Yes. You about to invent something new. Okay.
Mm. But so they mailed me a box of every strawberry dessert cookie that they made. So I think that's why that might have been my villain story, my chaotic story, because knowing that I can write and get stuff and do stuff and make things happen. Because after that, I wrote Bojangles because there was no Bojangles in Connecticut. I wrote Texas Pete because they didn't sell Texas Pete in Connecticut. I still write letters.
You were like, let me tell these people about this.
More recently, I wrote Sears and I got a free refrigerator when I was living in LA.
First of all, you about to have these
Oh
companies
yeah, we
flirting with
give my
letters.
secrets.
Okay. You gave it all your secrets out. I will say there was one time where um Chobani,
Hmm.
I got a half-filled Chobani and I was so upset. I mean, and it was like obvious. It wasn't like, oh, like it was like, no, this was. And so I sent them a letter. I was like,
Hmm.
I really love this yogurt. And why did y'all do this to me? And they sent me like an envelope of Chobani coupon
Oh.
to go like get some more. They basically they were like, just give us like the batch number and da 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 so we can figure out what happened. But also thank you. So yeah, it is. I will say this, especially now. Like, I mean, we giving y'all the secret, but also most of y'all ain't gonna do that.
Right. Ain't nobody writing no more.
Right. But that's also part of why it's magical because like, especially for some companies, like, especially if you're like a small business, it can really feel like you're just like doing things in the void.
Right.
And so to actually have someone take time to sit down and be like, and especially if it's not a complaint, like I'm saying like if you have a legit concern, like obviously let them know because that's gonna make them a better business. But also if you just truly love what they are doing and are really just
Let them know.
like this brand has like made magic in my life, like yeah, let them know. Like you'd be amazed how often they're like this is the boost for the day that I needed because I really just thought that nobody gave an F about me and my company.
So let's bring that back to this podcast. So if you guys listen and want to tell us anything, good, positive, indifferent, email us.
The positive. Because,
Email us.
we like affirmation.
What is it? It's so hard pod at
At Gmail.
gmail.com.
That's us.
It's so hard pod at gmail.com. We
So
like to read.
we do like to read. Also, like, if there's something that you feel is hard or that you just want to share, you can also send that to us.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's
Or if you've had some light skin behavior recently, let us know. We're happy to give the advice the only way that we can.
but
Best that we
guys,
can.
send us letters and ask questions. Like we will we
Send them
will talk
in.
about them because that is fun too.
DM us. It's the same thing. It's so
It's so
hard
hard pod.
pod
I think it's so hard pod pretty much
everywhere.
which makes life
Instagram,
so much
Facebook,
easier.
Spotify, Apple, where else? Amazon.
Are we on?
Hmm.
Oh, because Amazon does.
Amazon Music, yeah. What was that face for?
Because
Oh, speaking of chill, Jeff Bezos, the
that is
wedding.
not chill. There is nothing chill about that topic.
So do we just live in a
In
chaotic
fact,
world? Is
in
that?
fact, that topic should probably be better discussed in It's So Hard being the villain.
Mm,
Because how do you have a $50 million wedding when you have employees like on welfare?
yeah.
I deeply think I despise that man.
Hmm.
Mostly because like there are like there's factual damage from him and his company that like you can point to multiple instances. And it would be one thing if it was like we're a small company and we all struggle together versus like I made millions of dollars by exploiting people.
Well, I don't want to mess up my Amazon Prime deliveries, so
I canceled my Amazon Prime
what?
probably about 5 years ago.
See,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
already not going to Target, so I can't do Amazon and Target
Yes, you
either.
can.
No, then
Yes, you
and
can.
then
You live in a
Walmart.
major city. The only people that I give grace to on like Amazon and Target are people who live in rural areas where there are like literally no other choices. You live in an area where there are so many
And see, to
options
me,
of
that is like
things.
chaotic to go out of my way to find other options for
But
this big
it's not
company.
going out of your way. It's literally being like, let me take 5 more seconds, which was the way. Like he made
Years
a new
ago,
okay, but he made a new way off of basically monetizing convenience. Everything shouldn't be
that's the
at
chill
our
part.
finger. That's not chill.
That is chill. If I could
No,
just get
that's
home like,
no, no,
ooh, I
no.
need some
That's not
toothpaste.
chill.
Just go
That's
online.
over-consuming.
I don't think so.
Well, if you actually look at the environmental damage of these companies and the things that they're doing, you would know so.
On to family business.
That one time you were told to calm down at a family function and instead gave a 15-minute monologue.
Yeah, so on the other, am I really this chaotic? Um,
The fact that you think that that's even a question is chaotic.
so on the other side of the family, so we have a family reunion. I think this year was year number 49 or something like that. So I'll plan a few. They want me to like continue being the event planner. I told them no 2 years ago. I told them no last year, but they still want to include me and stuff. So I did join one of the family meeting calls a couple months ago. And I just have to tell everybody, like, this don't make no sense. I was like, this just makes no sense.
So you're not
One,
gonna do it, but you gonna hop on and tell them all about
yeah,
themselves.
and that's
No,
exactly what
and
I did.
that's not chaos.
That's well, they had a chaotic reunion this past year.
That's
What was that
not
last week?
chaos. I'm not
But
gonna help you, but I'm gonna tell you you're doing everything wrong.
yeah,
Either do the job or don't do the job, but don't half do the job and just cuss out everybody doing the job. Because obviously, if they could have done it better, they wouldn't have been asking you to keep doing it.
well, I can't do it.
Okay, but you can critique.
I,
You had
I
time,
was given
apparently.
constructive
Did
criticism
they ask
of
for it?
off of something that hadn't happened
Did
yet.
they ask for it? Because I have this belief that
They sent me an email.
unsolicited feedback is criticism.
No, 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 no.
If I didn't ask you, then all you're doing is criticizing me.
No.
Because whether good or bad, I didn't ask you. Like, let me ask. I don't want you coming in giving me all your thoughts unsolicited.
When I'm asking what's your family business when you were chaotic.
You, anytime I'm in your presence, chaos.
Oh, we could talk about the did we talk about the 2-year-old birthday party already?
I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay.
But,
We thought it was chill.
it was not chill.
The weed was chill.
No, I did not think it was chill. I just knew that the birthday person who was 2 years old was not gonna care and also was gonna have more fun.
Uh-huh.
Because, your little tips, cousin and uncle, are a great time. We
Yes.
are great with the babies. Okay.
Then,
And we weren't going anywhere. We're in a park, just having fun. I'm getting down on the ground. Like,
then they made us chill out in the car.
I think they
Just
made
so
you chill out.
was that just me?
I did not get put in the car. Okay. That was you.
You're rewriting history.
Sir, you went and took a nap.
I sure did. Chill.
Chill. Oh, you got anything else, Mr. Chaos?
I don't think we do. I think
I think the episode was called It's So Hard Being Chill,
all we
but
talked about was chaos.
well, I guess that's the hard part, is that you don't know how to chill.
Yeah.
I'm medium on the chill.
Let's end on that breathing exercise.
All right. Well,
How we do it?
we're gonna do four in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, exhale. 2, 3, 4.
I think I like start the inhaling too early. That's why I like
Possibly,
okay.
possibly.
All right.
But also, like, I think sometimes we need to lean into the things that are challenging. Like, there are certain yoga
Hmm.
poses that I'm just like, and I realize I'm like, that's just because I need to do you more. If I did you more, you would become easier. The more you do that,
The
the
easier.
more that hold will feel easier. The
Hmm.
more that will just feel like a natural thing to do. So yeah, lean into the chill.
I will. And I advise all the listeners to do the same. One, two,
Yes.
three, four. One, two,
Hold
three,
2, 3,
four.
4.
There we go.
Exhale 2, 3, 4.
And repeat.
And repeat. Give it like three. Give it like three
Three.
rounds. Yeah. Get yourself a little reset. But that's it for today's
That's it for
episode.
today's episode. It's so hard being light skinned and it's so hard to be chill.
It is, especially for you.
Easier to choose chaos, but don't.
Listen, I will say, sometimes in the moment, it feels easier to choose the chaos.
But you did with the repercussions later.
The repercussions
Yeah.
are definitely usually harder than the chill.
Yeah.
So choose chill. Choose light,
Even if it's hard.
even when it's hard.
Love ya.
We love y'all. Peace out. I'm Morgan, the
I'm
Coco
Jonathan.
Jonathan. We'll see you next time.
Watch this.